Hello everyone, this is Girish and welcome to Smart Street AI community. This has been existence for more than I would say almost 5 years, and it has evolved from when it started. And now what we are doing is bringing this under our new registered company so that we can do two types of projects. One is we call it as a community project, and second is commercial project. Now, the community project will serve the purpose of initial discovery and going something into various types of solutions, brainstorming, coming up with what could be the best way to solve a particular business problem. And commercial will be where we will be creating the proposal and submitting for official consideration. So that is how we are going to work. And in this YouTube channel or this video, we will be talking more about the community project, as we can talk about that project in public, but commercial project has to be more of a confidential nature. Every video will talk about the project initiative we are doing from a community driven perspective. So let's get started. So one of the approach we follow, which is Smart Street AI Consulting, is about design thinking. And because it is applicable no matter what is your industry. So desirability is about what makes sense to customer or user from AI perspective. What do they need? Then feasibility is about what is a technically feasible AI solution, whether to buy, build, or blend AI. And finally, viability. What is sustainable business model for AI adoption? Like what is expected AI product or AI solution lifecycle for the business problem which we are looking at. Now this is an example of a sprint. It can vary, but we look at discover, explore the business problem, and then we define, which is understand the business problem. Then we design, which is more about describe the business problem in detail with the business flow, technical flow, things like that. And then develop here is about provide solution for the business problem, what could be the possible options. And delivers, which is like deploy solution for the business problem. Here we recommend and see what could be the next steps and things like that. It is mostly 2-week sprint, but it can vary based on the scope of the business problem, and it is iterative in nature, so it can span over multiple sprints. So here is one update on this whole traffic management in ORR, which is we are looking at as a pilot project between Silk Board and Kiarpura. Bangalore Traffic Police, which is known as BTP, are set to introduce an artificial intelligence-driven digital replica of the city's road network to simulate and predict traffic behavior in a bid to ease congestion. So this is a very good news about the digital twin. And so the proposed mobility digital twin will mirror Bengaluru's transport ecosystem and allow planners to run virtual experiments before implementing changes on the ground. And so I have extracted this text. I have also shared the link in the description. I gave it to ChatGPT. And what it says is this project is of tender of around rupees 1 CR, which is almost 10 million in terms of rupees. And it's which is modeled on STRAM, so which is actionable intelligence for sustainable traffic management. So it will collect data from traffic signals, transport aggregators, public and private vehicles. It will also help them, see real time how people actually drive and behave. Very important, because I think traffic behavior is something which also needs to be addressed as we move forward. And this will be restricted access to BTP and GBA, which is a Greater Bengaluru Authority. And one of the things what I also did was I said, what's the discussion points which we should look at? So the concept of mobility digital twin, MDT. It's a digital replica by collecting data. So it's basically a simulation of real world scenarios before you actually implement that step. So it helps you to see what could go wrong, what is the possibilities, scenarios, things like that. Then here you can see real-time data collection, human behavior modeling, virtual experiments, restricted access. Obviously, it has to be very, very strict access because of data privacy. The benefits, yes, you can predict more accurate traffic outcomes. Bangalore is definitely very, very unpredictable, but still it will help avoid planning errors, caused by oversimplified models, and also reduce infrastructure waste, right? You can simulate before implementing whether it will help or not. This is a very, very game-changing feature. That way you can decide whether a flyover is required, whether a U-turn is required, whether the road has to have a service road, things like that. Challenges and risks are obviously there, and data privacy and integration is very much, because of the data-driven insights. Professor Ashish Verma highlights a key governance issue. We have data, but decisions aren't always data informed, right? That's very powerful. And he is stressing for a need for a stronger policy integration, transparency in AI-based decision making. So, what's the way forward? Establish an AI governance framework for urban planning. Very much required. Encourage data sharing agreements between agencies with strict data privacy and safety, I would say. Regularly update models with behavior and contextual data. This will help AI to more accurate. Promote evidence-based policy making. Then I also asked ChatGPT to do some analysis and insights, like what could be the possible way of doing this. So it has come up with something like this: shift from static models to behavioral intelligence. I think behavioral intelligence is something going forward will be critical in like traffic management, crowd management, and things like that. So that's like very, very, to be more realistic in terms of forecast. Digital twin, yes, that's a future for not just in traffic or something infrastructure, in healthcare, in retail, everywhere will be very much required for evidence-based policy. The governance gap, yes, it's there, and it's a human factor, so which no AI can fix. It has to go along with that tech, right? So there is no choice there. And then it's a big opportunity. Bangalore can become a global testbed for AI-driven smart mobility, and then it can be obviously applied into different cities. Then there are some questions it has come up, right? How can policymakers ensure AI-driven insights actually influence urban planning decisions? What mechanisms can ensure data transparency and public trust in such models? Should private mobility apps like Uber, Rapido be mandated to share anonymized data with MDT? How can citizen behavior be realistically represented in simulations? What ethical and privacy safeguards are needed for this AI ecosystem? Very, very critical question. It has to be responsible AI. Data safety and privacy security is fundamental for any AI system.